We're back. The time is now.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to NUFC Talk TV with myself, the Geordie Yam Yam, the Mighty Win. We've got Jamie, we've got Boki, and we've got Corey from the other side of the globe. It's 5:45 over there in Oz. So bless him, he's doing better than I would ever do. Welcome, one and all, for this preview between Newcastle and Barcelona. We're going to have a bit of a deep dive into Hansi Flick's tactics and see what's going on there. We're going to have a look at potential teams, and these lovely young men are going to try and be Eddie Howe and pick a side. I know what I think I'm going to go with, but I'll be interested to see what these guys do. So before we get into tonight's show, I suppose what we should do is do a little bit of housework, and then we'll crack on with it. Welcome to everybody watching across all the platforms. Thanks to everybody that works in the background, do an amazing job. Don't forget, people out there in viewerland, hit that like button for us if you enjoy this show. Or even if you don't, it just helps us get further as a channel to other supporters. Subscribe, it is totally free. Hit the bell for future content. Like I say, we're always live. We very rarely go recorded. So it's unedited. What you hear is exactly what we say. And sometimes it is probably to our detriment. If you want to help us grow, you can become a member for a small monthly fee. There's different levels to choose from, where you get a chance of winning a prize at the end of each month anyway. But like I say, it's up to you which one you want to choose. Anybody that's got a question out there in viewerland, you want to throw it towards the panel, try and put a Q in front of the question. Like I say, it just helps us highlight it. There's lots of people in the chat, and a lot of stuff just goes by, and we don't really get an opportunity while we're talking. So if you put a Q in front of it, it just helps us highlight certain ones. If it's relevant, we may add it, but nothing's guaranteed. But if you want to guarantee it, then you can use the $sign, follow the instructions, and that message then will be guaranteed to be read out. And anybody that becomes a member during the show, or any of our lovely members that gift memberships out there, you can, and it will be highlighted and thanked as we go. And don't forget, if you want to, you can come and join us on the Prediction League. It's a £5 entry fee. You get a chance to predict the Newcastle scores from this season, 25-26, and it's literally within the league. It's within the cup competitions, and obviously the Champions League included. So if you want to jump on board, £5 entry fee, top 6 get a prize, top 4 get a cash, 5th and 6th get a prize to more than the value of your entry fee. So there you go. That is it. Gentlemen, are we excited?
This week?
Me and you were at the top, I think.
Just seeing there was a bit of controversy in the predictions league.
Yeah. I didn't notice there was a backdoor entry sneaking in, which was obviously quite rightly corrected. I hope you guys are really well. Are you all excited about the game tomorrow? That is the question.
Cannot wait.
Cannot wait, yeah. Bloody nervous, but can't wait.
If anybody's in town, we'll be in Aspas from about probably, I think the sports ball will be opening 6 o'clock tomorrow. So that's where we'll be.
I don't know who this is, but it's Airy Minge. So no offense, but that Mason makes me so
falling
dumb.
right for it.
What's going on here?
that alias Hugh Janus.
Exactly.
He tried to get me this afternoon, but failed miserably.
Oh, I love it. You bring it on. It just gives me more aliases to go by. So let's have a quick deep dive into the presser. Obviously, I didn't make it on the presser. Totally forgot. Busy. And obviously, Win, bless him, decided to go solo and did a great job, to be fair. A bit disappointed, if I'm honest with you, because, and not on your behalf, it was a good show. But I really thought it was awful.
And then he gets stuck right into you, Derek.
I thought it was awful regarding the comms, again.
Oh,
you
terrible.
couldn't hear any of the questions from the journos.
And you could at the start, you could barely hear Eddie.
Well, then it went too high, then it went too low. I mean, whoever's working this stuff, these electronics behind the scenes, wants bloody shooting. Crazy the way it was. It was absolutely awful. Sean has said, Win, that's the other end of the town from where I park. So inconsiderate. Don't know what that's for.
No, but it's next door to it's literally at the ground, so you're heading to the ground anyway. You've got kind of 100 yards to walk.
Plus,
Less
if you're
if you're in the Gallagher.
If you're parking anywhere, they probably not advisable to come on the pop with you for 3 hours before the match, is it?
Get in the bloody Uber.
And there is that.
And I would even say there's a car park underneath the gate as well.
There is, huh?
So
these things about Newcastle.
I'm going to let you do because you did a cracking job. So what did you get from the presser, Win?
Well, I mean, very little from Eddie. Very little.
As always. Eddie. I mean, he doesn't give a lot away, does he?
All we got that there was no update on Wissa. He definitely won't be out playing on Thursday. And
he's already come out and said though he's not going to be back until after the October internationals. So we said November at the probably the earliest, didn't we?
Yeah, but I thought the highlight, when nearly left the premises when all of a sudden Bruno took the stage. And I thought Bruno was very entertaining in his bilingual best. Yeah. He said a couple of things. First of all, about the rat. Football is business. I think the club made a choice. He is gone, and I wish him all the best. I'm grateful for everything we achieved together, but it's not the time to look at the past. It's the time to look forward and to the future. We have the Barca game, and we are looking forward to it. And then he was asked, what could Newcastle do in future to ensure that we hang on to our best players? And he said, it's a good question. You have financial fair play, and I don't know if this affects things or not. I'm not under the table to see the circumstances to see what's going on. Football is business.
What's going on under the table now?
I've got no idea. I think it must be an idiom that doesn't translate from Portuguese into English. Football is a business. As a player, we don't want to lose our best players if we want to be successful. We have to improve our squad, and I think we did this very well in the summer. We look forward to going again. I want to win things.
Yeah,
and then he was exactly. But this was me. His favourite bit, I think. He was asked. I haven't got the actual quotes here, but he was asked about how his appearance record at Newcastle is virtually unsurpassed, I think. If you think he's missed one game through suspension, and I think one other in all of the time that he's been here.
Thank you, Lynn.
He's missed about half a dozen because there was that thing, wasn't there, where we'd never won when he missed a game. So that must have brought. I think he missed about
but anyway,
5 or 6
he
games.
says Eddie's asked me on occasion, did I need a rest? And I always tell him, no. He says, I want to play I want to play every game until I need to have a one out. But he says that out game has never come. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Thursday, Monday, Thursday, Tuesday. I don't care. I want to play, and I want to play it like a Geordie. Give it everything I've got. I want to play game by game, see what we've got. It just summed him up to me. I thought he was absolutely fantastic.
You look at his stats here. Over the top 5 European leagues since 21-22. He is well in front of the next guy, which is Vinicius Junior, who's only 3 games behind. But you look at the amount of ground duels won, 961 compared to 799, which is obviously 1 and 2 between the numbers. And then Jude Bellingham.
I tell you what, Vinny Junior.
Yeah. I mean,
surprises me with a ground
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought
one.
it was his game, would you?
No, well,
not at all.
That's the
You
European.
see, John McGinn, I can understand.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but that's the European way. Like, especially in La Liga, they press really high up the field, and I think that is more or less. You know, when we were talking about Eddie Howe going across to Europe, and before he took the job at Newcastle, and he was looking at different tactics and ways out to play the game. I think he's brought a little bit of that back to Newcastle. Especially when you looked at, the identity in his first couple of seasons, it was that really high intensity, wasn't it? And I think
is our identity, wasn't
and
it?
I think that's the reasons why you've got the likes of Vinicius Junior high up there, because he really presses on the fullbacks when they try and play this pep football, if you like, out from the back. And all of the midfielders, like you said, John McGinn, the Jude Bellinghams, you expect them to be up there. Even Paqueta and Andre. These are the type of guys that you expect. But like you say, for wingers, it is spectacular to be that high up the field. To be
well, funnily enough, Hansi Flick, Barcelona's coach, was asked about Eddie Howe, and he said, "I expect a really strong team, a tall team with high intensity, dynamic, and who will win a lot of second balls. Vertically, they play really good. It's a team that Eddie has built over the last years, and his coaching staff have done a fantastic job."
Is Hansi Flick going to be at the game tomorrow? Because I was pretty certain that he had a suspension, but he's doing the presser. It must mean that he's going to be on the sideline.
And well, that wouldn't necessarily mean he's going to be there. I wasn't aware of the ban.
I think he was suspended, but I think he appealed it and was successful.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I didn't realise he was the only German national coach to be sacked. Did you?
More in history.
Ever.
Yeah, well, apparently he was the only one that has been, instead of like walking away from the job, which is what seems to be a lot. I read up today, and I mean, I haven't looked at how true it is. When I was doing a bit of a deep dive into Hansi Flick's tactics at Barca, somebody had written down that he was the only German national coach to actually get sacked, and I'm like, oh. I haven't actually seen that written anywhere before. So it'd be interesting to see if that is true or not. Because I'm sure there's been lots of others before him.
To be fair, Gary, when I went to the Dortmund game a couple of years ago, I went to the German Football Museum that's in Dortmund, which I would highly recommend. And there's one room that's got all the trophies that the German national side has won in their life in it. And you can spend a bit of time with them, and I can assure you, if you walk in there, you'll get an idea as to why they have that many coaches.
Yeah, they've always had a blooming good side, haven't they?
Yeah, you're right, Gary. He's the only manager since 1926, when the role was created, who's been sacked from the German national team job. So
yeah, there you go. And I think it was 23 when he got his marching orders.
Yeah, it was.
And I think that is literally where the German national side was actually taking a bit of a nosedive and a rebuild. So anyway, what I've been trying to do is work on a little bit of, if you like, ground to try and find out where Hansi Flick gets his mojo from, and his work and everything else. And I've been watching our lads training with the new Champions League ball, so they get a feel for it in training. I can put that up on the screen if you like. And like I say, it just goes to prove that the depth of stuff that these lads have to do as a coach. We just think it's about kicking a ball around the training ground. It's not. It's literally everything.
Can there really be that much difference in the way a ball reacts.
Well, you'd be surprised. It's like when you're under pressure,
because there shouldn't be.
Well, every manufacturer will produce a ball that will do something different because of obviously there's different materials being used, different synthetics. It's where they kick through the bladder of the ball, as in the valve of the ball. You always see the likes of Ronaldo. He'll always place the valve, so when he puts that instep through it, you get that really crazy shape on the ball heading towards the keeper. So a lot of these balls have their own way of working. Now, for the average footballer, I agree with you. There's probably absolutely nothing that the Sunday League or even the lower Saturday leagues would even, take on board and make a difference.
I just work on the principle. They've all got to be within a tolerance of pressure. They've got to be the same weight, regardless of what material they're made of. The same size. I just find that.
In saying that, though, wasn't there a big bloody controversy in the 2010 World Cup because the ball was shocking or something like that? I remember.
There's been a number of. Yeah,
I remember.
There wasn't one ball taken out of the competition halfway through it or something because they said it kept on going out of shape. I remember correctly. I can't remember whether that was a European competition or it may have been a South American one. But yeah, like I say, these lads have, been training recent days with the new ball, trying to get a feel for it. And like I said, there's a lot go into coaching.
It's a detail, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. And like I say, whether it makes a difference or not, I mean, I suppose what you can say there is if the lads have been able to use the ball, there's no excuse. You know what I mean? I think anybody could make an excuse afterwards if they haven't had the opportunity to actually play with these things. And who was it that complained about the ball the last time?
Who do you think? Arteta would be one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
He'd find something to complain about.
Well, I mean, it's surprising, isn't it, to think that he's not going to complain about stuff.
I tell you what, there'll be 52,000 people straining to get into the ground to see this ball tomorrow night, won't there?
Absolutely.
James Cuff saying, remember the Jabulani ball at the 2014 World Cup?
2014 World Cup. Wasn't that the one that got taken away? Or they changed it or something?
No, I'm pretty sure that ball was for the 2010 World Cup. It was bloody shocking. It was just pinging everywhere.
Yeah, it was just going all out. They kept on saying that when they tested the ball afterwards, when you look at the perfect circumference, apparently after 2 games or something crazy, the ball was all over the place. It was completely out of shape. Wasn't rolling correctly or something stupid. A lot of the time they're saying that the when they check the pressures of the balls at the start of the match, which is what everybody has to do on the officials, they were saying a lot of the balls had lost the pressure the nominated pressure, if you like. Absolutely mental when you look at it. There has been a couple of players, obviously, that have come to St James's Park that are involved in the Barcelona team. I have just lost everything again. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
I am just going to jump out while I play this in the background, and like I say, you should still be able to get this on your screens, and I'm just going to refresh again. I don't know why my camera.
There's nothing on your share screen, Gary. Oh, there it is.
There you go. You got it now. You got that one. I'm just going to play it. So you say it's only 15 seconds, but I will be in and out. So if it carries on playing while I'm rebooting, just ignore it. We'll get to it as soon as it does. There you go.
Two seconds.
Oh. Bom dia. Excited for a first Champions League game.
Well, I'm not sure what that was all about. Anyway, one thing that I unearthed today was we're paid allegedly 70 million for Voldemort with add-ons. So it was revealed today in Das Bild what Nick Voldemort has to do in order for us to be forced to pay those add-ons. If we win the Premier League, we'll give them an extra €2 million, this is. If we reach the Champions League semi-finals, we'll give them $1 million. If we win the Champions League, we'll give them $2 million. If Nick Walter-Marda is top Prem scorer, we'll give them £500,000. And they are the add-ons. That's the £5.5 million add-ons that we'll have to worry about. Wouldn't that be a lovely problem to have?
Aye.
$2 million for the Prem, $1 million for the Champions League semis, $2 million for winning it, and $500,000 if he's top scorer. Wow.
Do you think with the cost of add-ons now, I mean, they're not too bad, but for some of the ones that are going through, they're going to have to step in on some of them because, I mean, for example, if say Man City come and bought a player off us and paid, I don't know, £100 million, but then there was £10 million an add-on, £10 million add-on, that if they won the Premier League, they would give away another £10 million for the player. Now, that opens up a can of worms. If you're playing them at the last game of the season, you've got nothing to play for. They can win the league. Does it sort of open up a can of worms of...
Not something I'd ever thought about, to be honest, but you're right what you're saying. That but whose interest is it?
But I'm saying if you're the team
so for that to be a thing, first of all, the player that you've sold has to be playing against you.
Well,
in that game that counts. So that kind of immediately smashes down the field. So there's, the odds of it happening are...
Well, no, it doesn't win. Right, I'll give an example. Say it's Bruno. Bruno goes to Man City for $100 million, gets to the end of the season, and if part of the deal was that if they win the league, we get an extra $10 million.
Yeah.
We play them the last game of the season.
Yeah, so that's him playing against us.
Yeah, so we're already in Champions League.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but the odds of that happening, because the player has to be playing against the selling club in that crucial game.
Well, no, because if they win the league, we get £10 million.
Yeah, but he's got to be playing Newcastle.
But he's got to be playing for us to have any influence on that. He's got to be playing against us,
and then
as opposed to one of the other 19 teams, 18 teams.
It's going to be unicorn tiers, isn't it? That it occurs.
We can't affect that if the last game of the season they're playing Tottenham.
No, but I'm saying we can get more money if we don't win that game. We get an extra 10 million if we don't win that game.
Yeah, but he's got to, for us to
try to win the game. I think, integrity's worth more than 10 million.
I mean, but even for it to be an issue, the only way it can be an issue is if we happen to play a team containing the player
that we've sold
in the last game of the season.
Yeah.
So the odds are 18-1 already.
But it will happen at some point, and it does open up that question of what's the incentive for Newcastle to win that game. If they don't lose anything if they're in a position, then they get 10 million if they don't win the game.
Well, in those circumstances, you're bang on, Bookie, but I don't think that's going to affect any negotiations.
I'll tell you who they need to sort out when it comes to add-ons. Ryanair. Terrible. Extra tenner for your bag, extra 15 for your storage. 2% for looking in the mirror twice.
Love it.
Last time I was on a Ryanair flight, the hostess came round and said, "Would you like a hot meal?" So I said, "Oh, what's the choice?" She said, "Yes or no."
I love it. Oh dear! I tell you something now. It doesn't get any better, does it? Than this. Right then, let's get into the Barcelona game then. Now, like I say, Hansi Flick has got a setup, and I have to mention it because of the way he sets up. So it's a 1-4-3-3, and the reasons why I say a 1-4-3-3 rather than just a 4-3-3 is because he uses a sweeper keeper very much, and obviously Garcia has been in goal because Ter Stegen has obviously had issues. So he plays with this system where he plays a very high line. Now, again, I've written a little bit, a few ditties, as they say. I have to say that very carefully to try and understand how it works. And again, apology is if this bores you. Flick employs a 1-4-3-3 setup using a goalkeeper and midfielders to create numerical superiority. When pressed, the team opts to go direct progression. So long balls from, I've put down Ter Stegen because obviously that's when I was doing a lot of the housework. And it's very much the same with Garcia in goal. And to bypass pressure and trigger fast attacks. And again, they become very narrow. And they usually switch the ball left to right. If you look at a lot of the Garcia movements or the Ter Stegen deliveries, it's usually to the left centre back before it goes out to the left back. If they're going to go short and play a little bit of pep football, and as soon as it goes out to the left hand side, it's usually switched out to the right hand side. Obviously, where Yamal, Rafinha, you've got Rudy Bargi. Lots of really good high-intensity players can play, and really then what they do, they become very narrow and they try and out-compete you in midfield. The formation morphs into a 1-3-4-3 as Jules Koundé joins the centre-backs, and which allows, obviously this was Balder playing on the left-hand side, where now Balder is injured, so he's not available, but it would be Martin who plays the same role. He pushes up then and he rotates the midfielders fluidly, forming diamonds or boxes to dominate possession and tempo. Koundé may invert into midfield, opening passing lanes and enabling 2v1 combinations on the flanks. And literally...
that's until J7 comes in and bulldozes through the box.
that's the thing. It's because you've got to look for what it gives you when it comes to bits and pieces. And for me, it's all about movement. Now, I have got something on the screen, or I will put something on the screen, and apologies because obviously I have to be very careful of copyright. This is probably going to be difficult for you guys because I've put a blue film over it. But as I'm talking through it, what I'm going to try and do is just go through the slides as I've seen the matches, as I've given, and I've just put direction of the ball type of thing. So again, apologies. Again, I just don't want any copyright situation. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is dark, and it'll probably spoil what I wanted to do because I've tried to bring a lot of it in. I'm just trying to look on the screen. It's probably not even worth me doing this, but I'll try. I'll see where it goes. It may get me nowhere. It may get me everywhere. So we'll see. So, like I say, this is how he tends to play, and as you can see, when they're on the press, very similar to Newcastle. Everybody takes a player; it's man for man. But you get instead of going where we have the wingers, they'll push up the fullbacks really high onto their two fullbacks, and what they'll do then is they'll try and force the keeper to go long. And when we looked at the things where you talk about Vinicius Junior and Real Madrid, very similar tactics at Real Madrid, where they push on and push on and push on and try and win the ball. Very similar to how Newcastle did in the 23-24 season. Very interesting way of dealing with things. So again, Flick prioritises central.
Is this action or just stills, Gary?
This is stills of a game, and like I say,
you're okay.
Copyright.
I think it's stills of the new Smurfs movie.
It's a blue movie.
It is a blue movie. You're absolutely right. So again, here you can see how condensed it is in the middle of the park with this 4-3-3. Where again they try and dominate all in a narrow bunch to try and condense play and stop any passing lanes through from the opposition. So Flick prioritises central overloads, keeping most players in midfield to shorten passing distances and accelerating ball circulation. Wide players stretch the defence while central players exploit gaps and maintain control. The rest of the defence is built around compact central positioning, enabling swift counter-pressing upon losing possession. So you're looking at like the attacking dynamics, and you can see again very narrow when the guys drop deep, and it's as if Kubasi, Eric, Martin, and Kuanda, who played against who did they just beat 6-0? Oh,
Valencia.
Valencia. Yeah, I was going to say Villarreal, but it wasn't. It was Valencia. Thank you, mate. And again, watching that game, you could see it was as if when they do very much like Spursy. I'm just trying to think of a team that did it against us last year. Spuds was very similar, where they pressed to the halfway line. And the ball in behind, unless it's worked correctly, anybody with pace can beat you. So we are who we are, mate. You know what I mean? Type of situation. And this is where I think Hansi Flick, if he comes to St James's Park with a similar mindset, we know we're going to probably give the ball away.
That setup to me just looked like our setup 4-3-3.
Well, it is.
With a two winger slightly wide.
It's very similar. That's what I said. If you look at the way Eddie Howe is set up with Newcastle these days, it seems as if he's mirrored a lot of the La Liga when you watch them play and everything else with the high press and everything else. Obviously, we haven't got the quality of players across the park, but it seems as though he's doing a very similar role. Attacking midfielder positions themselves between opposition lines, receiving vertical passes and turning to create chances. Third man combinations with striker help unlock tight defences. So again, we look at you look at the high line here, where they're looking at creating a 5v4 scenario. So this is them, trying to press on. And gain that extra body in the back. And this is why I said we've got to be very careful, we said, because they will
Which are Barca, Gary? The dark
Barca
colours
are the darker
colours?
colours. Yeah, the darker colours, mate. And you can see the line here. Right?
Yeah.
So this is their line pressing on.
Have the blue everyone away with these tactics this season?
Boom. So with this line, as you can see, they'll take literally the midfield out, and they'll just push an extra body up. So it just, again, you have to gamble as the opposition coach, because you either go with the player or you let the player run past you. And I think that is where Barcelona, under Hansi Flick,
you sit in the lane
change
and wait for them.
Yeah. So you either obviously go very narrow to try and stop.
Because you know the way we always drop into 5-4.
Exactly, and that's what I said. I think that is another tactic of Eddie Howe to try and combat European football, because of what teams do. The likes of Real Madrid, the likes of Barcelona play very similar to what you've got here. So with a 5 in front, what you actually do, you're stopping anybody in these back lines here from passing the ball through the channels. You can always go down the line, but you can never go through the middle. And I think that's Eddie Howe's philosophy. Again, what I've got here is wingers like Yamal, Rafinha constantly threaten the space behind the defence, focusing opponent to drop deeper, opening central lanes, exploiting defence's weaknesses. Flick's system creates a 2 versus 1 against fullbacks, especially on the weak side, using switches to play and underlining runs in attack the half spaces. So again, when you look at here, you have, again, for me, Barcelona have 2 outstanding 10s. Ferrin.
But is this not just our triangles?
What do you mean? Is this not our try? Again,
the way we play exactly the same, trying to get 2-1 on the wings.
This is what I said. If you look at the amount of bodies that Barcelona push on, you've always got 5 against that 4 on the back line. So they're always trying to overload, and it's always about trying to get the ball moving quickly. And I think that has always been the downfall of Eddie Howe's tactical side, because what Eddie Howe tries to do is he hasn't got the players with the mindset to move the ball quick with the quality that Barcelona have. You know what I mean? And I think that's the difference. Yes, you're recognising styles of play, but the actual direction of play, the way we play,
we know the
slow.
execution is.
Yeah, it's not always the way, is it? So, like I say, he always tries to do it. And again, if you look going on to their defensive structure, again, what I've done here is highlighted their two fullbacks. You can see three attackers in the opposition still playing high. Their two centre halves sat on the halfway line. Again, pushing really high, really on the press, trying to win that ball back as high up the field as they possibly can. Man-to-man pressing with intelligent marking adjustments, ensure pressing without compromising shape. Wingers press from the outside to block passes to fullbacks, while fullbacks stay disciplined until needed. Then they go on to the low press, a compact 1-4-3-3. Mid-block forces opponents wide and protects central zones. Again, we've seen Eddie Howe do a similar thing, but he drops with a 4-5. A high defensive line compresses space and supports midfield dominance. So squeezing the pitch. And again, this is Flick's teams push up aggressively after every backward or lateral pass, suffocating the opposition and reclaiming territory. The one thing that gets me when I look at some of Barcelona's play is if we decide to play out from the back, we know how uncomfortable we look at times. You know, Pope, Dan Burn isn't the most fashionable with his feet. You know, we know Shaw can do it, but under pressure, I should say, bit different. Again, Tino's shown a little bit of quality in the past, but again, with this type of quality opposition, you give the ball back to them in our defensive third, we can find ourselves in a bit of trouble. And again, like I said, they're not really too bothered about the long ball over the top, because what they have a habit of doing is zonal tracking. So what I mean by zonal tracking is they've all been given a role. Hansi Flick at his training ground has got a 5 foot, I think it's a 5x3 or something like, or 7x5 screen at the side of the training field. So during every coaching session, if he wants to drill into the Barcelona players something different, he'll put it on the screen and he'll show them every time they've made a slight mistake. So what he's got them doing is he's got all the defenders tracking back literally on train tracks. So they mark within the 18-yard box. The two centre halves stay within the 6-yard box lines, and that is their zonal marking. So they don't look at the players running up with the ball over the top. All they're interested in is getting back into position and then looking at reorganising shape. So really interesting on that. And that's why when I'll put the teams on in a minute, the reasons why I've gone for the team that I've chosen, and then we'll come to you guys in a second when it comes to that. And again, I've just highlighted here, again, apologies because of it's really dark. You've got the 7 versus 5 in midfield, which is where Hansi Flick tries to win that second ball from. If there's any
Gary,
ball that's gone wrong.
you may as well just talk, because you virtually can't see that on like.
Well, you've only got to look at the darker players. There's your 7. These are the players that are in that zone, in that mid zone, looking for that second ball. So we're looking at Dan Burn, who's very historically good in the air for any long ball given over by the keeper. When that second ball comes back, this is where Barcelona try and pick up that extra second or third ball with dominance in numbers. And that literally is it. And again, I'm just going on some of my final thoughts, if you like, on that. And again, apologies for the blue screen because I just didn't, because there was certain writing on the picture. I didn't want us to be hammered. Final thoughts for me is Flick's tactical vision blends structure and spontaneity. His emphasis on pressing, positional fluidity, and direct attacking play could usher in a new era of strategic brilliance at Barca. And again, I think Barca were going through a little bit of a different system of play. Wasn't really getting anywhere previously. Few changes, but like I say, you look at their forward line and the amount of goal and assist contributions that these guys have. If the amount that they create, and again, you go with the law of averages, they're always going to get something because of law of averages. If you keep on shooting, keep on making that progressive runs, there's going to be very few times that these guys don't at least make the keeper work. And I think that is where it becomes.
Well, Hansi Flick has got the highest goals per game ratio of any manager in Champions League history. Twice, once with Bayern and once with Barcelona. 3.1 and 2.9.
Yeah. It is absolutely crazy. And like I say, I can give you a couple of good stats, if you like, because like I say, this actually blew me away when you look at some of the stats on these players. It is unbelievable when you look. And again, I'm just going to try and reduce that. And I don't want to reduce it so you guys can't see it, but it's no point in me put it on there if it doesn't fit the screen.
Just
so here we go.
Read them out.
Yeah, Fermin Lopez. Look, this is like I say. This is Atletico have just got an equaliser against Liverpool. Again, plays in that centre midfield.
Doesn't make our pre-season look so bad, then, does it?
Well, it did in the first 10 minutes. So 22 years old, absolute quality. And if you come and just have a look down here, Barcelona from July 23 till now, 91 goal contributions, 21 goals. Formidable, just 7.5 rating. So he's constant player, and 9.3 against Valencia. But again, has poor games, as you can see. Obviously, at an international level, he didn't get involved, but he also has poor games where they can't quite get that situation right. And this is the thing that I hope that the pressure of Newcastle tomorrow night changes the focus. I think they, like we saw with PSG, when PSG come to St James's Park, doesn't matter how good individually you are, that little bit of added pressure, that 12th man can make a massive difference. But I'm just highlighting what these guys have actually got. Danny Almo, this guy again sat on the bench. I think he'll start against us. I think he was rested against Valencia. But again, you look at this guy, 43 goal contributions since August 24, 12 goals. This is again another number 10 that would probably get into most sides. Unbelievable talent. You're having a look at his pizza wheel here with the amount of opportunities that the player gets. It's high percentiles all the way around. Amazing type of player individually. We all know what Rafinha gives you. And again, when you look at Rafinha, you know what you're going to get. Different pizza percentiles here. But again, you look at his since July 22 till now, 148 XG when it comes to assists with 57 goals. And again, his ratings this year, 7.96. So not playing bad. And again, somebody that can both play left wing and right wing, naturally left-sided player. And I think, like I say, Newcastle potentially, when he was at Leeds, missed out on somebody before he decided to go to Barcelona, because I think he was one of those players that Eddie Howe could have quite easily picked up. And again, of course, I believe Lewandowski, player that I rate massively. I think even for his age, I mean, he's 37 now.
He's older than the referee.
Yeah. Again, you look at the goals, 99% on the percentile, shot attempts, 85%. And you look at his contribution given to Barcelona since July 22, 150 assists with 103 goals. I mean, numbers speak for themselves when it comes to quality. And this guy has got quality all the way through. And that is just players that I think we could be potentially facing on the time. And I mean, Ferran could be involved. Fernin could be involved. I mean, like I say, they've got so many that can come off the bench and play against us. It's unreal what quality they have.
Well, if a few sources have got that starting lineup being up front, being Raphinha, Furman, and Rashford with Lewandowski.
Yeah. And like I say, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Now, when you look at it, you look at the squad that they've got, and like I say, what can we do to damage limitation or their limitations? And it's a case of, for me, it's all about pace now. And again, when you look at what they have tried to achieve, and again, it's squeezing high up the field to the halfway line. The fullbacks going really high, and the two centre halves again, no slouches, stay really high. I think we play Gordon and Elanga, and that is what I think you'll look to see, because you want players that can hurt Barcelona. If they're going to come and press us in our own half, we want an out, if you like. I heard,
as you've just shown there, effectively, Barcelona are a Newcastle, with better technical players.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is like all of that summed up, because everything that you were showing there was more or less could have been watching Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean, for any football manager, there you go. I've done a bit of fun here because I've took the cards out, and you'll be happy to see that there's a couple of silvers for anybody that's out there that plays Football Manager. But again, I've put the two lines there, the two staggered lines, because literally that's how they squeeze. Whoever plays on the left-hand side, and it could be Rashford. Like I say, I have a feeling Ferran didn't do really well against Valencia. He had a bit of a rough ride. When you think Dani Olmo come in and Lewandowski came off the bench and both scored 2 in the second half. So 4 goals out of the 6 came from 2 players off the bench. I mean, how crazy is that?
Lewandowski only came on in the last 20 minutes, and he managed
20 minutes,
to get 2
exactly.
goals, so.
That's what I'm saying. It is phenomenal. But again, when you look at what they do with Lewandowski, you get a clever player, hasn't got the pace anymore, but very much knows where to go into and where to sit to be the most dangerous within the penalty area. So again, is this? Do we see Eddie play the 5 at the back because of the way Barcelona set up? So this is how I've got it, and I've gone with usual 4 at the back. Again, they haven't really done anything, wrong.
So you're putting Trips in, Livramento in.
I've put in Trips in solely and purely because I want to see Livramento do what Barcelona do with Martin, and that's push on down that left-hand side. So what you'll get from Trippier then, he'll just move across into the back line, if you like. Because again, they only play with a one up front. So if he's going up there, it means Raphinha has either got to gamble and play in the half space and attract burn towards him, or he tracks back and you go 2-on-2 with Koundé. And again, you've got to question, how are these players going to react to Newcastle's shape, to Newcastle's play? And that's why I've gone with Gordon, because if these guys do decide to go on the high line, if you like, and try and press us back, this is usually how they set up. So it's usually Kuza and these guys will go into the midfield. Ferran, if he's playing, will play virtually side by side with Torres. You usually get Raphinha will sit out, or the guy on the right wing will usually sit out, and it could be Bargi, Rooney Bargi that plays. He played against Valencia, did okay, and whoever's out here, whether it's Rashford or Ferran Torres, he'll be the one that ghosts into these angled runs, and he'll try and work. I've got Rashford as well, so whoever they decide to go with, one or the other will work. Let me just stick with Rashford because it makes it confusing. So what you get then is Martin will be here going on. So Eric will come up here, Pedri will push on, And this is literally how they'll play. So I have gone with the two quick boys up top because I want them attacking runs, running from deep. And again, with the likes of Alanga's pace, with Anthony Gordon's pace, what you're going to get then, it's going to delay and stop Kunda from going forward because one of them have got a mark pace. So does it stop Martin from going forward? Potentially, yes. So it changes the way Barcelona work. And I've often said a good coach and the way a coach develops is if you change the mindset of the opposition coach, you're 1-0 to the good. Psychologically, not obviously physically.
So let's have a talk. Let's see what we think our team would be.
You don't think we're worrying too much about Barcelona with all this? I mean, if Barcelona play at the best, they're going to beat we anyway. You know, let's just play one game. If as I say, if they're top notch, but we're going to get beat. If they're not, then obviously, if we play our own game and don't worry about them, you know, we'll stand a chance.
But that's what you know. If Eddie has put as much time into it as Gary obviously has, then he's going to say exactly the same thing, presumably, and he's going to say, "Well, look, basically they're playing exactly the same way we do. Let's see who's best."
Yeah.
You know, and if they have got the more tech, because from everything that I was watching there, it seems that they go to 5-4-1, 5-4 the same as we do when they're defending. They go fullbacks attacking and triangles outside the box the way we do, trying to get 2-on-1 situations. And so I would just say, yeah, absolutely, play them at their own game. Play our best, put our best 11 out,
Yeah.
and let's see how we get on.
Corey, go on, mate. What's your thoughts, bud?
Yeah, to be honest, I think I'm a bit worried if we go head to head with Barcelona playing the normal way we do in the Premier League. I think the way you beat Barcelona, you saw it with the game before the international break with Barcelona and Vallecano. Vallecano just sat back, parked everything at the bus, and Barcelona couldn't score a goal from open play. I think it was a penalty that ultimately got them the draw against Vallecano. So I think you don't want to see it at home, obviously, but I think that we've got to soak up the pressure and hit them with our wingers with pace. I think that's our best way to beat Barcelona. You saw it with Vallecano; they had nothing when they parked the bus. Barcelona, they looked really lost. So, I think we just park the bus, defend well, and then hit them with Gordon and Alenga. I think that's our best bet to get the 3 points, to be honest.
And Voldemort.
I'm honest when I think if we park the bus, they're just going to rip us apart. They will end up. We're best bets to not fear them, just go out and play our own game. You know, we can go through all the tactics and everything. We'll know how good Barcelona are. If they play their best, we've got very little chance of getting anything out of this game. But
that's exactly what we did against PSG, isn't it? We just hit them from out the blocks and they didn't know what had hit them.
Just absolutely go. I mean, you're going to have the fans on side. You're going to have a massive atmosphere. Just absolutely go for it from the start, and let's see what happens. If you lose, you lose. If you, but I'd rather we just went for it rather than worrying so much about Barcelona and their tactics and what they're going to do. Let us just go for it and see what happens. You know, we're a good team as well. We're not to the
We
same
are a
level
good
as
team,
them.
and listen, I'd back our midfield three against any midfield three in football. Because that's how good I think they are. You know that stat that you put up, Barry, about Gary, about Bruno.
Yeah.
You know, that's in exactly the role you're talking about.
Yeah. I think, like I said, on the day, and we've seen this and we've witnessed it, many a night, and again, we've seen it through the highs and lows, if you like, of Champions League football. I think sometimes if Eddie Howe goes out there to try and force a result, and I mean force a result by winning or getting by any means necessary, without any tactical foresight. And I talk about AC Milan and how we played that. I think we were absolutely well beat by Dortmund. They tactically made us look inept. We just couldn't deal with them. Even though we hit the bar, we were unlucky on the post a couple of times. For some unknown reason, those two games, home and away, we just wasn't at the races to compete. Against PSG, great at home, very unlucky away with that penalty. Should never have been. But the AC Milan game was the one for me, was where we fell and we could have got something out of that game just to get us into Europe. And Eddie decided, as we've seen in a lot of league games now, where he just wants to push on. He wants to go and get the win, regardless of the result. It's not about drawing anymore. It's about getting the result. And I think sometimes that can work against you. I also agree with what Balky's just said, to be fair, because if you show too much respect to Barcelona, then, they're going to turn up and they're going to turn you over. You've got to do it in the right way. But I think there's enough ammunition within the Newcastle side. If they go and play that extra 5%, which the occasion usually gives you, St. James's Park, night match, gives you that buzz, that sense of, want to be there. It's a phenomenal place to be under the lights, especially for the Champions League games. That extra 5% out of every player, I think, will see us home, especially because of the way these, play football. And it's very Postecoglou, Spursy, when they go on the high line. The difference with the Spurs and the Barcelona is tactically on the retreat, they've all got a role to do. And where Spurs looked a little bit, anthill mob type of thing, where they just go and chase anywhere to try and close the ball down. These guys just track back in their train tracks to get back into position. And it's whether we've got the pace. And there was some amazing stats. I'm hoping. Let me see if I've still got it, because the one thing that I noticed when I was looking at all of this, I hope I've still got it. It was the amount of teams that have been offside. Oh, I haven't. The amount of teams that have been offside against Barcelona. Yeah. Since Hansi Flick has come on. And have a guess the type of teams that get caught offside against these in La Liga, say, more often than not.
4-3-3 teams.
Every team, yeah. The Real Madrids, the Atletico Madrids, any team that's going to come out here that think they're good. All the teams that don't get, and I suppose if you look at it, it's because they never get the bleeding ball over the teams from mid-table to the bottom, because Barcelona are just playing around them. But all of the teams high up in the La Liga, top 6 to top 10.
So what you're saying is he's got a good offside trap.
He's got, like I said, he's got a good offside trap, because there's pace at the back. They all retreat in the zone. So it's like a case of they don't get ball watch. They don't track the ball. They all get back into position. And I think a lot of it's also luck, because unless you've got, we look at Harvey Barnes, and I mean, you made a good point out earlier on when you said about, Harvey Barnes. If that was Gordon, he would have already gone past the defender before the defender had a chance to take him out. Yeah. That's the situation you're in, aren't you? You can play this type of high line as much as you like, but if you've got pace, the likes of Elanga, now, which whether, both Anthony Gordon at the minute and Elanga have both got to have the composure once they're in front of the goal to do it. And that's what I was saying about what
the main thing they've both got to do, which Harvey Barnes is very suspect at, is looking across and seeing the line.
Yeah.
Well, Gordon and Elanga tend to do that because they know they've got the pace anyway to get past the defender in the event that the ball gets put through. Whereas
that's the
Harvey
reason
Barnes...
why I put Voltemade in, because if you notice, when you talk about Harvey Barnes against Wolves, there was a run that Harvey Barnes did behind that Voltemade saw and flicked the ball over the top, didn't he? And Harvey Barnes was probably a yard offside. I'm talking. I've got Anthony Gordon here, but it was Harvey Barnes. He just played the ball, and that's the reasons why I've put Voltemada in the side. And it's not because I want him to be the main attacker, because I've got two really good quick attackers on the field of play anyway. But what he can do is drop into the 10, into the high 8, and allow those diagonal runs from wide into the narrows. And hopefully, with the bit of quality that he's shown, he can actually distribute the balls into these little channels. But like I say, the one thing that you have got to watch with Barcelona is Garcia. While they play the high line on the halfway line, what you'll have is Garcia just defending the D, and he'll pick up any long ball that gets played centrally in what they call the 6-yard mark. So when you look at the parallel lines from the 6-yard going forward, that's where Garcia will want to literally pick the ball up and distribute back out. So again, it has to be quality. Say again, Mike.
I think this team will be different in two ways. I don't think Trips will play. I think he'll bring Hall in, put Hall at left back and play Bertino at right back. And I don't think he'll play Alanga. I think he'll go with Murphy.
Okay.
Just in regards to who he trusts, and also who is a bit more a settled player at the moment.
Okay. Well, like I said, I mean, this is my thought process. You know, I'm more than happy to, like I say, if you guys decide that you want to go 3 at the back with this 3-2-3 system or 3-2-2 system, whichever way you want to go for it, that's entirely up to yourselves. All I'm saying to you is, I think if Eddie Howe looks at it with any notion, he has got an opportunity to play a little bit of pace in and behind. Like I say, with the likes of Voltemada, again, a great target man. You know what I mean? Somebody that you can throw the ball up to and potentially has the ability, as we've seen against Wolves, to hold the ball up and bring players into it, the likes of Bruno. Because I think what you'll have a tendency of seeing is maybe Tonali and J7 being a little bit more on the defensive midfield role, very similar to the way Barcelona allowing Bruno to go and play in the 8 in the 10 slot.
Well, I think we'll definitely see GS7 dropping back a bit more, as he did when we played Arsenal in both semi-final games, when he was playing left back and centre back for large periods in those games.
Yeah. I'll tell you something now. There's some right chat going on out here. They're obviously not interested at all in the tactical side of things, as they're all talking very rude by the looks of it in the chat.
They're keeping themselves amused.
They are. I must admit, it started to bore me after 2 hours. I must admit, having a deep dive into it. But like I say, it is what it is. So then, come on then, boys and girls. I would say boys and girls. Obviously, anybody in the chat, you can get involved with this if you want. Pick your side. You are the Eddie Howes of tomorrow. Who would you play? And you know,
well, the most interesting one for me is that Keith Downey, amongst others apparently, is saying that he won't be playing Voltemada.
No, and he's going to rest him.
And he's resting him for Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is absolutely ludicrous.
He's a 23-year-old lad. Sure enough, he can make 2 games a week.
You would have thought so.
I should say it all started when the blue screens came on. It all went blue in the chat. Fair play.
Yeah, but the thing is, Gary, if it's just a still you're showing, there's no copyright.
Oh, well, like I said, it's only because there was names and God knows what I just didn't want. And I tried to make it as clear as possible. On the screen, it looks so much nicer on my screen, to put it that way. But on there, it looked awful. So
we're going to be safe from the Liga copyright, but James Cameron might come and hit you with a copyright strike for the latest Avatar film.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, do we reckon he's going to go with Pope in goal?
Yeah. He's going to change that, isn't it?
No, I think you have to. So then the first question is, Hall in or out? Because obviously if he's in, Tino goes right. Or does he stick with Trips?
I think he's got to stick with Trippier. He's got the experience. He's played Barcelona a few times, obviously, playing for Atletico Madrid. I think putting a young man in against a game this big is a bit of a concern. So I think you just stick with your tried and trusted. Put Trippier in for sure.
Trippier could have give if you watched the match, he could have given away a goal in the first few minutes on.
Yeah. Poor. That's what I said. He was poor.
Yeah,
He was
Yeah.
very poor.
In my view, I think you put Hall in simply down to the fact of pace. You've got if you don't, and this has been my worry since the start of the season with this back four. There's only Tino who's under the age of mid-30s. The rest of the back four are over.
Yeah, but that same back four's kept three clean sheets.
Oh, that they have, but I'm saying if you put Hall in, would anybody disagree that if you put Hall in, it makes the defence stronger?
Yes, and
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the beauty of it is, thanks Andy for the apologies for no show. Love the tactics. Thanks. You're the star, mate. I hope the babies got sorted. For me, it's a case of it's a gamble, and I say it's a gamble when you've not played a lot of football on your return. And you're absolutely right. He's got pace. He's got the ability to play the ball naturally on that left-hand side. He can whip a ball into the centre for crossing. So for me, he has everything that you want from a player. Naturally left-sided, gives you good balance. The only thing concerned for me is, has he got the speed of thought against the likes of Rafinha, the likes of Onion Bargy, if you want to call him Onion Bargy, Rooney Bargy, whoever plays out there, you've got to have speed of thought.
Ian Fleming, thank you for your fiver. Gary, I tried to stop him in the chat, but he was outvoted.
Ian, listen, mate, as long as everybody's having fun and nobody's getting upset, I'm more than happy for you guys to have the banter. It's brilliant. Keep it going.
I've been accused of falling asleep.
Twice.
Trust me, I was struggling myself with them bloody blue screens. But when you look at it, you've got to ask yourself: speed of thought. Have you ever played enough football to be pushed in from the start? And I think that is where Eddie's going to have that dilemma tonight. He's going to be sat at home, mulling all of this over, trying to say to himself, who's going to be my left back? Because they can both play well.
I hope this has been already decided, and that on the training pitch, they've been.
I'm sure
going through the drills with a team that's going to be there.
Let's face it, good problem.
What I'm saying is they'll both do the drills, because even if there's a change, if you think about it, what we've got now is we've got two players playing left back that have actually played at English international level at left back, right?
Yeah.
So for Eddie Howe now, it's a case of, as Boki's just said, do a play Trips, who's the old stalwart. He always seems to come good at the higher level games. Sometimes switches off at the lower end games. I don't know why that is, but he does. As Boki's just said, he could have given a goal away quite comfortably. So for me, it's a case of having these two internationals that play left-sided. It's a great headache to have.
And I'll tell you what, here's a controversial for you. I think Tino is better at left back than he is at right back. You're on about Hall whipping balls in. Tino can whip a ball in, as he proved at Wembley.
Yeah, but 90% of the time.
And not only that, yet this is the even more controversial bit. I think Tino is a better left back than Hall is.
Yeah.
The whole package.
Right, okay. I think sometimes...
it's lovely to have them both.
The only thing I worry about with Tino, you're absolutely right. He has created goal opportunities for us, but it's that option.
And the way he brings the ball, he brings the ball out better from the left when he's cutting inside than he does from the right.
His natural
cutting
foot.
inside.
But that's what I said.
He loves to bring it up and go towards the centre circle, and then
I just think sometimes if he has to keep bringing the ball back, as we see Anthony Gordon do, as we see Harvey Barnes do, as we've seen anybody playing left-sided or even right-sided, we've seen it with Alanga, where he has to bring the ball back onto his good foot and try and shape a ball into the back stick. I think sometimes you've just got to say to yourself, you lose momentum. You lose that movement forward into that 6-yard box by taking a ball and shaping it away from the keeper. A good keeper will come and claim the 6-yard balls all day, every day. So you've got to have enough bodies in and around there. And I think sometimes, for me, Newcastle have been guilty of doing that. They just don't get enough bodies in that final third
Well, I agree with
to
that.
to destabilise
also, we don't have enough
keeper.
shots.
And we don't get enough shots on target anyway. So
No.
for me, I just think that is, it must be a fantastic headache. So out of the three of you, then I'm going to keep out of this because I think it's going to be Tino that plays left backs, but I'm going to have no inclusion in this. Out of the three of you, Luis Hall or Tino Livramento?
I'm going
Are you
Tino.
saying who would we play or who will Eddie play?
Who would you have playing left back?
I would have Hall playing left back.
You want Hall playing left back.
Yeah.
Bokeh?
Despite
Hall.
what I've just said.
So Hall. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'd go Tino just from an experience point of view, but obviously having Hall in there's it's not a bad second option at all.
So right back, you're going to have Tino?
Yeah.
Tino, yeah.
Tell you one
too.
thing I might do as well is drop Burn for Botman.
Shut
Okay.
up, man.
I just did that to get a wind up off for a win.
So there you go.
Botman's been our best defender for a year now.
Do you start Chow against these?
No.
Well,
You still carry on with Fabio
first of
Chow?
all, are we playing 2 or 3?
Well,
I think you got to play the 2, surely.
2 for me.
Yeah, 2.
So you don't think you'll go 3 at the back?
okay.
No, I think we need the extra man in the midfield. To be honest, the four at the back is strong enough to defend and gives us an extra man in midfield.
In all honesty, I don't think you can drop Shaw or Burn the way they've started the season.
Yeah.
So that is your back four then. You're happy
that's
with
it.
that back four, okay?
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't think
for sure.
I need to go over the midfield. Surely.
We don't bother with the midfield.
Nah.
You're happy with the midfield the way it is.
Yeah.
So
Fast forward.
I've gone with Gordon, Voldemar up front, and Alanga. You guys decide who you want to pick.
I would go the same way.
Bokeh?
Is this me personally?
Well, yeah. You
Yeah,
can decide.
I would go the same way, but I've got a funny feeling that's not the team Eddie's going to play up for them 3. So we'll come back to that point. I don't know to tell you now.
All right.
Well, you think you'll start Murphy instead of Alanga?
I think he'll start Murphy instead of Alanga. And by the sound of the press releases, I think Barnes will be on the left, and I think Gordon will be up front.
Well, that's as I say, that's the whisper at the minute. I'd be. I mean, I wouldn't just be astounded. I'd be annoyed.
Yeah, so would I. What a waste. You got to start Nick up front.
Yeah.
Having Gordon up front.
You don't break your transfer record to put somebody on the bench in a match like
Let's
this.
just have a look at it.
Surely.
I mean, like I say, this is what we've got to do. We've got to have a look. So you want Barnes on the left hand side?
I don't want Barnes on the left hand side.
But you know what I mean. That's so that's who we according to the rumours and the gossip out there in journal land, that is what they believe could be Eddie Howe's selection.
If for a ridiculous, supposing Voldemar got injured, I would have Murphy on the right, Gordon on the left, and I would play Alanga through the middle. Listen, Anthony Gordon has been given ample opportunity as a striker, and he's failed every time.
I think that's a bit unfair. Wayne. I think he said that he'll play there forward.
Yeah, that's right.
He hasn't said he wants to be a striker.
No, I know that. But I'm saying
he's personally feel is unfair. It's that he's just not a striker, is the top and bottom of it. So he's not feeling that.
So why even try it anymore? That is now a failed experiment as far as I'm concerned.
No, I think we're such a weaker side with Gordon at striker instead of Nick. It's night and day difference.
And not only that, you're then also weakening yourself by taking away the best left winger we've got, in my opinion.
Yeah, it just makes us weaker on both fronts.
It's a double whammy.
Yeah.
And you're also losing the impact of Barnes from the bench. So it's a triple whammy, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad decision.
Except you could maybe argue you could bring Baltimore on from the bench, but
I think
no, he's got to start, man. Bloody
Yeah.
hell.
Well,
I think the start of the season's proved Barnes is not a starter. He's just
Well, the only other thing you could potentially do, and Steve literally has just thrown in the chat, and that's what I was going to say to you. You know, we've seen Elanga play through the middle for Sweden. He played through the middle for Man U. Would you chance against Barca with Elanga?
Why?
According to
Middle.
there was Luke Edwards has put the question to Eddie Howe: has there been a conversation between you two? And I don't know why you have to say things like that. To be fair, while the lad is still trying to get used to the setup, and he's gone back to the tried and trusted Murphy. And I don't think that is anything to do with or any detrimental side of things. I just think it's about giving Elanga time to settle into the team. He's threw him in the deep end, and he's realised, in actual fact, you've not actually benefited the side whatsoever, contributing to XG or anything else. And to me, like I said, if you're going to throw Anthony Gordon in up front, you might as well go and throw bloody Elanga up front because he's got pace the same as Gordon. And I'm hoping he's got a better finish. But I don't know. I for me, I can't see Harvey Barnes starting. I just don't think he has given enough in these first few games, and you can't say he hasn't had the opportunities now. And because everybody said, Harvey Barnes needs game time, and yes, I can to a degree forgive him because he's just become a new father. Maybe psychologically, maternal instincts have came on board, and he's now thinking about being a father again, and that's upsetting the network, if you like. And if that's the case, then surely, as a professional player, you've got to say to the gaffer, I've had disturbed sleep or whatever it is that's unbalancing him, it's not getting him focused on the game, and get him out the side.
But Gary, this form's been since February, March last season. It's not like something new.
Exactly.
It's carried on. Right? You can look for excuses sometimes, but that I don't think that's a good point. It's sort of he's not been good. Well, since the cup final, he's not been. I can't remember him having a good game since then.
No. And that's what I'm saying here. For me, it's a case of you can only give so many excuses for any player. And at this present moment in time, it's getting to the point now where, for me, he's getting further and further away from being a starter than he is competing for a starting lineup. I think there's, I was looking at the young uns the other day when they went and beat Liverpool 4-3, the under-18s. Fantastic game, actually. I'll probably just hit that towards the end of the show. Some outstanding goals. And like I say, for me, Eddie Howe has got to start having a little bit more faith for me if these lads aren't producing in some of the young lads. Because like I say, they're not always producing it, but at times they're certainly producing some high-end football.
Well, put it this way, I didn't want to say any of the young lads against Barcelona.
No, I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying, it's about time. If these lads aren't performing now on a week-to-week level, because I saw in the show earlier on with you and Chris, where people were saying what's more important, Bournemouth or Barca. Every game that comes your way is important. You go with your lineup. Eddie Howe would be an absolute fool as we speak now to be thinking about Bournemouth with this game tomorrow night, because if you can't 100% focus on the job at hand, which is tomorrow night's game, then we've just been giving Harvey Barnes excuses. It's his head on the chopping block. Harvey Barnes will still get paid next month if he doesn't perform. Eddie Howe doesn't perform, he gets the push. Who's under more pressure to perform for each game? So, like I said, for me, it's a case of he has got to now go out there and prove his worth, whether he starts or whether he comes in off the bench. But as you said earlier, Win, Harvey Barnes, to me, has been more of an impact sub than any of our subs per se.
I think he's better as an impact sub than he is as a starter. I've always had my reservations when he's been a starter.
I think one thing we do have to remember about tomorrow night is as well that from this new setup of the Champions League, even if we do lose, nobody wants we to, but if we do, it's not a disaster. sort of the.
No,
I mean,
I've set a target of 11 points.
It's technically harder not to get through than it is to get through, simply for the amount of teams that go
We're
through.
better teams. Yeah.
Yeah. So if people watch, I think a lot of nostalgia is coming to the fore because of the Barcelona game in the 90s.
That's right.
With Tino. I think we need to.
And Tino has been is
a
there
guest
as a
of honour,
guest.
Yeah, but I think we need to put that out with minds. We need to. It's a.
And Bobby Robson's son's been invited as well, because of course it's the first of two Sir Bobby derbies that we've got in the Champions League. We've got Barca and PSV, both of whom he's managed.
Yeah.
But as I say, it's not a disaster if we don't win this game. It's not great, but it's not a disaster if we don't win this game. As I say, the way the Champions League set up now is ridiculous. But
I quite like it, actually. Even though I don't probably understand it fully, I'm gonna make it my business to do just that by the time we've finished out playing them tomorrow.
This is the second year it's been going on. I still don't understand how it's bloody working, to be honest. It's a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, it's weird because with the way it's set up now, you can, we could have a fantastic league and end up, whatever, 9th, 10th, wherever, 7th, 8th. Well, 7th, 8th would be great because then we're through. We haven't got the playoff round. But if you end up 9th, so great 9th, so you're going to play the team who finished 24th, smashing, you would think, except that last season, Man City, PSG, the eventual winners, and Bayern, I think, Bayern were at the top. It was the other big team that was, floundering at the bottom. So you could end up playing a stellar club anyway. So it's all a bit of a lottery.
Yeah, it is.
But the one thing that I was asked this afternoon that I couldn't answer was who gets home advantage. By home advantage, I mean who plays their away game. And again, what do you think? Do you think it's an advantage to play your home in a two-legged tie? Are you better playing your home game? The common thought is that you're better off having your home game second.
I was going to say I was going to play the away game first.
Because you know exactly what you've got to do.
What you've got to do when you've got that.
You can try and shut up shop and then and then come and you know exactly what you've got to do at home. So that's the conventional wisdom.
Yeah.
But
I've always been, like I said, for me, it's a case of, whenever you play a match, if you set out for the draw, and like I say, how many times have we seen that in the past where, teams set up for the draw, it's become boring and they go and, lose 1-0 through a deflected shot or whatever, because, it's happened to Newcastle more than once, more than I'd like to.
Well, that's specifically why UEFA made the away goals rule up,
Rule, yeah, exactly. To try and encourage you to go out there and get a win, or at least score a goal. But that's gone now, hasn't it? There's no such thing now as the away goal rule. But I know they were talking more about playing. Was it the if the team get a draw as the away side, you don't get no points. The home side get a point. They were talking about trying to change it up a little bit, where it still encourages you to go out there, or for the opposition teams, the away teams, to go out there and play, rather than just put 10 blokes behind the ball type of thing and make it a bit of a bore away from home. It does happen. We know it happens. But it'll be interesting. So I've just put a Langard up top with Gordon out on the left and Murphy. Just have a look at it. I'm not sure whether you guys are interested in that. But like I say, there is lots of little ways you can do it. I just hope Voltemada starts, and like I say, if it means that we've got to change it up against Bournemouth, then so be it. And I think that is for me the way Eddie, I hope the way Eddie works. And I think, as has been mentioned by a number of people in the chat, I think it was probably media hype with Eddie Howe keeping everything close to his chest. And I think, like I say, people will always say, the Premier League's more important, but you have got 38 games to try and claw back your disadvantage, which was a disadvantage start. But I mean, like I say, when you look at where we are and what we do, I mean, I've gone with a 1-1 draw, and now I've done that deep dive this evening on Barca. I actually feel as though we could actually win this 2-1. So I'm going to change mine win. I'm going to change mine to a 2-1 win.
Wow.
All right.
Well, make sure you put it in.
I will. I'll put it in the chat. So I just think now, because of the high line and how we played against Spurs doing a similar one, I think there's every chance that Newcastle could get behind. But again, it does depend on who plays. And I think that is the problem. You can put in the thing now and go, if we play this side, it's going to be this. I did it against Wolves, expecting lots of goals. And as players changed, it never looked like scoring a second goal.
If you do that as well, Gary, and go by wins rules, you get the points no matter what.
Yeah, love that. Right, literally a couple of things that I wanted to share with you guys. I thought this was absolutely lovely, and you've just virtually hit it. This is Barcelona, their front page. And straight away, if I hopefully I can reduce that so you guys can see it a little bit better.
We can see Sir Bobby there.
Yeah, and underneath it goes Sir Bobby Robson, the bond between Barca and Newcastle. Thursday's game is a wonderful opportunity to remember the legacy of the late coach who served both clubs. And I mean, it's just a beautiful beautiful sentence for anybody that wants to go and read it.
FC that's on the Barca site, is it?
Yeah, it's on the Barca site, and it talks about Robson.
I mean, that's a bit that always gets me. His protege Mourinho.
Yeah.
And every time Mourinho has got a visiting team at St James's Park, he makes when the team coach is leaving, he makes the team coach stop at the statue, salutes him.
Yeah. So it's it's been a long 27 years today. We had that famous win. Obviously, the last time was it 2003 when we lost 2-0.
Just a turn of the century.
2003 wasn't it when we lost 2-0? So, like I said, maybe we owe them one. But I just thought that was a really, really nice touch from Barca, remembering Sir Bobby. And like I say, they've been going all the way.
And the fund that he left behind has hit record numbers this year. Opening a brand new £30 million wing.
Yeah, exactly.
In the unit. The money that's been raised in Sir Bobby's name is phenomenal. 128 runners, I think they had in the Great North Run on Sunday.
Yeah, really? Wow.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, we've.
I think that's for later, Gary.
Yeah, this
sounded like 70s porn, didn't it?
Here we go. This is Lamine Yamal. Really peed off that he hasn't gone with the boys on the couch to Newcastle with his missus. He's like I say, he's not having any of it, mate. He's like, well, hey, I'm having fun here. Thanks very much. I'm not gonna put the sound on because, like I say, it does sound a little bit weird, if I'm honest. But like I say, he's not bothered about not going to the match. He's more than happy to stay at home. Right, that's it. I suppose. Predictions, guys. Win
1-0.
1-0.
1-0.
It's happening Newcastle.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I've gone 2-0 Barcelona.
Oh, Barky, what are you doing? What are you doing to us?
I need to make up some points. I've been really positive about Newcastle this season.
Yeah, I'm going, like I say, 2-1, and I'll put it in the chat because I think there's a chance that Newcastle are going to be really up for this game. Certainly owe them one. Gentlemen,
I don't think there's any doubt that we'll be up for it because the crowd will make sure that we are up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything was you going to add something, Win, before?
No, it was the Walter add-ons that I found quite hilarious.
Yeah,
So if we've got to pay that extra 5 million, it means we've won the Premier League, the Champions League,
yeah.
in order to do which, of course, we had to reach the
Which
semi-finals.
is semi-finals.
And Voldemort got to be top goal scorer in the Premier League. So if all that happens,
Well, I mean,
have you
yeah,
five
you
and
can
a
have
half
it.
million?
Yeah, I'm going to say you can have it. But that was what I was going through when I said before the difference having these add-ons to any
the add-ons for Isaac, for example. If, let's assume it was just the same. If those 5 million were the same, there's a damn sight more chance of us getting
of them
it
doing exactly
than there is of Stuttgart getting it.
Exactly, and I think that there's a bit of a difference, isn't it, when it comes to these transfer add-ons that you get? Because, like I say, some of them are totally inachievable. It's impossible to get unless you're going to a Liverpool.
But some of them are highly achievable, of course. For example, wasn't it Lewis Halls that was he had to
easy
finish in the top 16 or something?
Something crazy. Yeah, that's what I said. But I think that is, like I say, regarding the opposition, if they want to get rid of them, you know what I mean? If they do want the player gone, they'll open the doors for an easy target to be reached.
That's in that dig I'm having at the Chronicle, by the way. There was an article in the Chronicle yesterday. Headline: Newcastle's Anderson sell-on clause revealed. So I thought, so I have got a sell-on clause for Anderson, or a buyback clause, whatever. You read through about 16 paragraphs, and the final the second last paragraph says, contrary to many rumours, we are led to believe that there are no sell-on clauses or buyback clauses in the Elliot Anderson deal.
Just
16 paragraphs to tell us that, eh?
Despite having the headline,
it's all
sell-on clause revealed.
I'm seeing it's all clickbait in these posts.
Absolutely.
Now, just to get you to click on.
And to read those 16 paragraphs, you've got to go past about 25 adverts.
Yeah.
Don't forget not to give them your pension number or your credit card details.
Yeah.
What a
Anyways.
Yeah, Liverpool won in the end.
We've got a brilliant day to look forward to tomorrow.
Indeed, it's going to be fantastic. Don't forget to join us.
Anybody who's in the town will be in Bally's, as it's called now, formerly Aspas, the sports bar in Stowell Street. We'll be there with you from about 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I've been given a little bit of news from Connor, bless him, that we can share tomorrow midday. We'll be on for an hour or so, just to give anything new and upcoming off that. There's a little bit of interesting news, nothing major, and obviously hopefully we'll hear a little bit more about potential teams starting against Barca. So we'll watch this space tomorrow at 12 with me and Win, and then it's me and Chris at 7 for the live watch along, kick by kick commentary. Come and join us then. And again, if you can, do us a favour, hit the likes, share, do everything you want, bell, subscribe, the usual stuff, just before you say goodbye. And I just wanted to point out, thank you so much for Lynn Simpson for becoming a member, been here for some time now in the background. So thanks, Lynn, for coming on board as a member. Andy Belford.
Andy and Ian Fleming.
And Ian Fleming. Thank you ever so much, guys, for your contribution to this evening's show. Like I said, until tomorrow, it's a goodbye from them lot over there.
And it's a goodbye from him and them lot over there.
Take care, all.
Away the lads!
Yeah. Oh, you know what I was going to do? You know what I was going to share with you before I said I was going to say good night? I was going to give you a little bit of the lads reproducing some absolutely quality goals. So I'm just going to leave you with this. I'm not going to put any any sound on. Bear with me a second because I'm just trying to find it again. Here you go. But this, to me, there's a few good goals in here, and like I say, the lads need to Eddie Howe needs to step up a little bit and give these.
This is the young ones.
The young ones, yeah. It's they would. It's not the Liverpool goals. It's just the Newcastle goals. But they scored some crackers. Yeah, enjoy this before we say good night. And like I say, he does really well to win the ball back again, high up the field. He's going to stop there for a minute, but he decides not to. Plays it on to the side. Walton brings it back. And again, cool little finish into the corner from the centre half. Did really well to get involved there at high up the field. And again, nice build-up play, little touch over the top. But again, here we go again. Now, like I say, you watch some of the finishes here. Ball across the side, and it's just composure, bang, into the corner. Very nice. And like I say, there's a couple of lads doing really well. And again, lovely little turn. Plays it out wide. Again, nice little overlap through the middle. Good running. Good vision. And watch this for the finish. Bang. This Woolston, mate, really, really good. His final goal. Best of the game this. You watch this for a finish. Woolston, he gets the... like I say, he's just sitting in that deep 10 position. He's running on. Yeah, nice little play. Drills it back. First time into the corner. What a finish that is. Yeah, beautiful finish. And like I say, these guys ain't any mugs. You're looking at them as in the Liverpool.
The Liverpool Academy, yeah. No
Academy,
mugs, as you say.
Some good players there. But again, really high performance from our under-18. So well done, boys. Anyway, good night from everybody.
Ciao, ciao. How are the lads yet again?
The lassies and the Bears who just won. Take care, everybody.
Adios, Barcelona.